The Power Automate Custom Visual for Power BI enables me to take action and automate the data inside of my Power BI reports. In this example, I'm actually sending a delay notice to all of my orders. What happens if we actually want to go ahead and create a flow that sends an early notice, the fact that your order is actually going to be ahead of schedule? Let's go ahead and add a brand new Power Automate Custom Visual, and it gives me the guidance on how to use it. The first one says drag the fields. So let's go ahead and drag the fields. In this case, I actually need the email address column, and I actually want to let them know what order is going to be ahead of time or ahead of schedule. So that's all we're going to add for this particular flow. But of course, I could have actually dragged many, many more columns. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go in and edit this. At this point, I actually can see inside of Power BI a Power Automate editing experience where I can actually go out and select existing flows. You can see I've got 2 of them here. Or in our case, we're going to go out and create a brand new one. And let's call this one Early Notice. Okay. And you'll see that it's already actually set up to have the Power BI button click trigger. So that means I can actually activate it from a button click inside of Power BI. And as far as my action that I'm going to take, and we're going to send email. And here it is. Now I want to point out the fact that it doesn't know if I'm actually going to send in 1 row or multiple rows. We know we're going to send in multiple rows. So the second I actually go out and specify a data set with multiple rows, it's going to automatically put this in a loop for me. So let's actually show that. Add dynamic content, reference that email address, and now we're going to apply to each loop. Going back into that send email action, the subject is going to be the name of the order. There we go. And I'll actually send it in twice with the text is going to be early. Okay, that's it. We've actually created a flow inside of Power BI and passed in with filter context all of the data from that report. So let's save this. What we're going to do is go back into the flow environment and we're going to say apply. This actually binds that button inside of my Power BI report to this particular flow. If we go back into the report itself, and let's actually make this a little bit more manageable. Come on. Oh, way too small. Move it over here. Not quite small enough. You get the idea. And obviously I can go out and change any of this text, any of the other properties like color. Let's actually just change that one text. That way it makes a little bit more sense for the context. And the button text is going to say, you need to be able to read what I'm typing. There we go. Early notice. Okay. Now, when I actually put this back into reading view, it will actually let me pass in whatever data set I'm looking at. And that's kind of important. It's actually a big benefit. In this case, I don't want to let all of these rows know that their order is going to be early, because maybe only the state code of 0 is early. So let's go ahead and set that filter context to only these 4 or 5 rows, whatever that is. And now go ahead and trigger that flow. So you'll see that we're in a trigger state. Oh, it's actually already run. Now, if we go back into flow, go to My Flows, we actually should see the one that was just created from within Power BI. That's early notice. So you can see it was created 1 minute ago. And hopefully it has a succeeded status, and it does. And we go out and take a look at all of those rows. So let's go out and see that let's actually go to the second one down, raw inputs. And you can see that this actually was the Corvette 3 laptop, which has got to be a great one with the name Corvette. And if I go into my inbox, you can see that this is it. Oh, I probably should have put a space there inside of my flow, but that's great. It actually went out and sent an email notice to every single one of those rows from within my Power BI report. I hope that you actually found this video useful and continue using the Power Automate Custom Visual for Power BI.